Hello students, good morning to everyone. Today we are here to continue chapter 8 of GSC. Last day we have started chapter 8 and the name of the chapter was solids, liquid and gases. Means we can say that 3 states of matter, and we have covered up to change of state in this chapter. Today we are going to study the different activities which are given to show that how the change of states occur. And we are going to do the first activity. We will understand it. For that purpose, my dear students, first of all, get ready with your book. Open page number 64 here, and the activities are given here that we will discuss in detail. First activity is how the solid changes into, how the solid melts into liquid. How the solid changes into liquid, and how does it change? By melting. By melting, that we will see how this melting occurs, and with the help of activities that we will try to understand. We have to take some materials in order to conduct this activity. First of all, we need to take ice tubes, then ice tubes, pan, after that lid, in order to cover that pan, then ice tray and burner. These are the materials which are required in order to conduct this activity. What we have to do, my dear students, first of all, we have to put some ice cubes in a pan. Then keep the pan on a burner. We have to put some ice cubes in the pan. Then keep the pan on the burner. For what purpose we are keeping the pan on burner? To heat that. The ice cubes will change into water. After some time of heating, we can see that the ice cube change into water. And changing of ice into water is called melting. Changing of ice into water is called what? Changing of ice into water is called melting. And here the melting is not only changing of ice into water, but changing of all the solid particles, solid material into liquid is called melting. What point we got from here? That changing of solid into liquid with the help of heating is called the melting. But in this activity, what we have seen that we kept the ice cubes in the pan, kept it on burner. Then solid started to melt into liquid, and after some time we can see that all the ice got converted into water, and this process is called the melting. Melting is the change that occurs when a solid changes into a liquid as the temperature increases. How this solid changes into liquid? How this solid changes into liquid? With increase in temperature. With increase in temperature. With increase in temperature. With increase in temperature, solid changes into liquid. With increase in temperature, solid changes into liquid. And further, what happens? Why it happens? It occurs because on heating, molecules in solids start to move fast. And finally, what they do? When the process of heat is given to that solid particles, they start moving fast, and finally they break away the rigid pattern of the solid and the constant increase. What is meaning of constant increase? That heating process is not random, means we are not giving very high heat, very low heat, no. At a constant, at a fixed increase, the fixed increase of the temperature makes the molecules to move more rapidly and the solid melts into the liquid. So what was our first activity that? What was the first activity? How the solid melts into the liquid. How the solid melts into the liquid. How does this happen? Did you understand? I hope all of you have understood properly. Only one thing we have to keep in mind, that the solid will melt into liquid with constant increase of temperature. And how this increase of temperature will occur? By giving the heat energy. Now, next activity, we will see that liquid changes into gases. Next activity, how the liquid changes into gases. We have taken the ice, and the ice which we took, we heat it, and now ice is in the form of water. And water is which is state of matter by distance, liquid form. Now we will see that how this water changes into gas. Now what we have to do, we have got the water, and now we will heat the water further. As the water begins to boil, the water vapor or steam begins to rise. We can see, no? Sometimes if you keep the water to boil at your gas stove or somewhere on induction, what can you see? Vapors or steam. And changing of water into water vapors is called evaporation. What it is called? Evaporation. So water liquid evaporate to convert into gas. And the process changing of water into water vapors, changing of water vapors, changing of water into water vapors is called evaporation. Changing of water into water vapors is called evaporation. Clear to everyone? And not only water into water vapor, but liquid into gas. Evaporation is the process by which water changes into water vapor. And how this evaporation occurs? This occurs due to heat. As the sun is constantly giving heat, we can see, no, sunlight now, and sun is giving the heat constantly. What happens? Evaporation is always going on in the nature. We can see that water from the pond, rivers, or now a very good example you can see in the fields, water is there, no, or wherever there is a dig, you can see water collected due to rain. But now sunlight is there, and after some days you can notice that if rain is not there, the level of water has gone down. It has gone down, no? We say, no, that after some days it will dry. How it will dry? Naturally, if we are not giving an extra heat to that, due to the heat energy given by sun, because sun is constantly giving the heat, and due to that heat, the evaporation always continue in the nature. The process of evaporation is always being continued in the nature, and this water evaporates into the steam. It occurs because on heating, all molecules of water start moving, flying back back and forth within the water. Means inside the water itself they will go up and down, up and down. You can see, no, when you are boiling water at your gas stove, you can see that water is going up, coming down, and in the form of drops, bubbles, you can see it's rising, and some amount of steam is gone into the atmosphere, and sometimes they collide with each other, and when collisions occur, some molecules, they have extra energy from other molecules, and finally they travel fast enough to evaporate from water. Means what happens? Suppose this is the water particles, actually it is chalk particles, but we are considering that it is water particles. And when this heat is given, they start going up and down, and finally some particles, they are colliding, no? You can see, no, they are colliding with each other, and some particles, they will get extra energy, and see, one of it moved. So some particles will get extra enough energy, and they will evaporate from water. Clear to everyone? Clear? I hope you have understood both the process, both the activities, how the solid changes into liquid and how the liquid changes into gas. Now third activity is that just opposite process of this both. First was how solid changes into liquid, second activity was how liquid changes into gas. Now we will see how does this gas is converted into liquid. Opposite of the second activity. We have the steam. Now we want to convert into water. What we have to do, we have to take the pan, keep on the burner, and we have to ask an adult person, because you people are so small to hold that lid, otherwise with the steam, your hand will get burned, to hold the lid over the pan. Small droplets of water can be seen on the lid. I am giving one example. Your mother is always cooking the vegetable, no? She is covering the vegetable pan with some plates or with some pots. Whatever is that, with some lid also. And when she is going to fry it, she removes that cover, means whatever plate and lid is there. You can see small water droplets over that, no? And this can be seen that steam is again changing into liquid. Where steam is again, whenever we are covering, no, we will not see that much, but if we keep separate from heat, we can see that water droplets. And this we can say that steam is being converted again into liquid. It was in the form of gas, and now gas is being converted into the form of liquid. And this happens when the gas condenses to form liquid. Gas condenses to form liquid. Changing of steam into liquid is called condensation. Changing of steam, changing of steam into liquid, changing of steam into liquid, changing of steam into liquid is called condensation. What it is called? Condensation. And how this condensation occurs? Let's understand this. Condensation is the process by which water vapors change back into droplets of water. Into droplets of the water. And how does this happen? This happens because of cooling. It occurs because in cooling, molecules of water slow down and they come together. And when they come together, they form a liquid. If the temperature further falls, the liquid changes into crystals of ice. Clear? Clear to everyone? Now we will study the last activity. How does this liquid and put it in a freezer for some time. It will change into ice. And changing the liquid into ice is called, or changing the water into ice is called freezing. How does this process occur? This occurs when liquid freezes into solid. So changing of liquid into solid or ice into water. Water into ice. Changing of liquid. Liquid is what, my dear students? Water here. We have taken water. Changing of liquid into solid. So what is the solid form of water? Ice. Changing of liquid into solid, that is water into ice, is called freezing. What it is called? Freezing. It is called freezing. Changing of this liquid into solid is called freezing. And freezing is the change that occurs when liquid changes into solid by decreasing the temperature. Why does it occur? It occurs because the molecules become frozen in the place and begin to arrange themselves into a rigid structure. Thus, we have seen that heating changes solid into liquid and liquid into gas. Similarly, this cooling changes gas into liquid and liquid into solid. That's why changes of states are temporary. Clear to everyone? Now we will study the last topic of this chapter, expansion and contraction. All of you pronunciate with me, tell with me which topic we are going to study, my dear students. Wherever you are sitting, you have to speak along with me. Then only you can understand the things clearly. Expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. We know that heating or cooling of materials can cause the change. The change occurs in all materials from solid to liquid and liquid to gas. But the effect of heating is just opposite to that of cooling. Let's see how it is opposite. Increase in temperature makes a thing expand. If we heat anything, the temperature increases and the things expand. And when a thing is heated, the molecules will move faster. Each molecules will take more space due to their increased movement, and so the things will expand. When the heat is given, they will move fast, they will take more space, and that's why the particular thing will increase their size, and the increase in size of matter on heating is called expansion. What is this expansion? Increase in size of matter. Increase in size of matter on heating. Expansion is increase in size of matter on heating. Increase in size of matter on heating is called the expansion. Clear to everyone? And decrease in temperature makes a thing to contract. Let's see how. When a thing is cool, the molecules movement will slow and they will take less space due to their decreased movement, and so the thing will become things will contract. And the decrease in size of matter on cooling, the decrease in size of matter, decrease in size of matter on example I will give. The iron expands on heating, cast iron expands on heating, and they will contract on cooling. One best example is that of railway track. In summer seasons they expand little, and in the winter season they contract little. This is the best example of this expansion and contraction due to heating and cooling. Because in the summer season the temperature is more, and that's why railway tracks expands little. You can ask your parents also. This is the fact. This happens. And during the winter season they contract. Temperature is less, that's why they contract little. This is all about this chapter. My dear students, your homework is to revise this chapter. Tomorrow we will meet with tomorrow is next class. We will meet with the exercise of this chapter. Thank you, class.